Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Thanks a lot for making our time to be here today. Um, as you all know, our speaker is going to be speaking from the United States, and as a result of that, there is a time difference. So while we wait for him to join us, I would ask that we just talk a little bit about our club. And so I would ask that Lion Joyce, please do share about our club with everybody here today, about Lagos Pheonix Lions Club. Thank you very much. We serve.
Good evening,
You
everyone.
said.
Good evening, Lion Joyce.
And it's my pleasure to welcome everyone once again. You know, our club president has welcomed us. It's an honor to have you all here. And basically, Lagos Pheonix Lions Club is a fairly new club. We were chartered in January. So we're just 8 months old and waxing strong. We are a specialty club, and being a specialty club, in addition to the 5 core courses promoted by Lions Club International, we also have taken on drug abuse prevention as a core course for our club, and we have been championing that. Since our charter, we have had, I think, 3 events around drug abuse prevention. We've run online campaigns. We've had campaigns in schools as well, you know, to create awareness about drug abuse and the menace it has become in the society. So that's basically a brief about our club. I see Lion Matt has joined us, so I think so that we don't waste more time, we'll start off immediately. I would invite Lion Emme Tola takes on the phone.
Good evening, everyone. We have with us today Lion Rafa from West Virginia, USA, the first vice president of Ohio County Virtual Lions Club. The pharmacist serving his community in his free time through a new cyber club chartered in February before the pandemic. In 6 months, the Ohio County Virtual Lions have aided in Backpack for Food program, tied over 100 blankets for child cancer patients, and many more. The club currently has almost 50 members, having various roles on the ability to contribute during the pandemic. Today, he will be talking to us about technology as a tool for service. Please, with a thumbs up or a wave, can we please welcome Lion Rafa to me? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lion Emmett. Lion Matt, before you take on, I just want to acknowledge the presence of our area leader, Lion Sam Epuk. I can see him in the house. Our ever supportive district governor as well, Lion Tokumbo Aromolaro, is with us. Thank you very much, Saz, for taking out time of your weekend to join us. I think I also see our
Thank you very much.
Vice District Governor, Lion Ano Ayaun. Thank you. We're really honored to have you with us this evening. So, Lion Matt, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Can everybody hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for having me. The honor is truly on my side. This is really, really cool that you guys reached out to us. I am going to, let's see here. I'm going to try to share my screen so that you can follow along with me in the PowerPoint. So for those of you that attended the virtual Lions Symposium, this is very similar. So there's going to be a lot of duplication, what you've already heard, but I'm trying to tailor it a little bit to what what I think your club asked me to speak on today. So as mentioned in the introduction, I'm a member of the Ohio County Virtual Lions Club. We are the first Lions virtual club in West Virginia and the 16th in the United States. And we're only one of like roughly about 200 specialty clubs in the United States right now. Our specialty is serving the children of the county that we live in. And to give you a little bit of background on how we got started. So we started on February 27th with our charter night, and about 44 people, I think. 2 weeks later, everything in the United States shut down. And as I'm sure it shut down probably around the same time for you all. And so we were really challenged with, how do you take a brand new club that has probably more than half brand new Lions? We had maybe 17 Lions from a former club, and the rest were all brand new to Lionism. And how do you take those people and inject them into Lionism at the forefront of the pandemic that had a lot of us with stay-at-home orders and really unable to serve out in public. So we were really challenged, and I think that we did a very, very good job of getting through that challenge, as I'll show you in the other slides. So in the last 6 months, we started with a bank account of 0, and we took on a number of fundraisers that were also kind of like projects that helped the community at the same time. So these are the 4 that we did, and I'll talk briefly about each one of them. So the first one was our Flags for Heroes program. So here in the States, we have a company that works with a lot of our local Lions clubs we purchase flags that we put up on patriotic holidays, and we get people to sponsor those flags with a person in their family or a loved one that maybe either served or in some way was a hero to them. And the way that we tailored it around the pandemic was that at that same time, we were talking a lot about how the word hero took on so many different shapes during, from your grocery store employees to your healthcare workers and everyone in between. We kind of opened it up and said, hey, tell us what a hero means to you, and sponsor a flag in their name. And so we had people that sponsored flags that just said all healthcare workers. We had flags that said, I work in a pharmacy, so I've sponsored one that said to all of my pharmacy staff and pharmacy colleagues. And so it really took on a little bit of a different tone than it typically has in the past, where it was more reserved for military and people who served in some shape. So that's how we really took off with this program. And we had we set up an online form using Jot Form, which is a real simple tool that will allow you to take online payments without knowing a whole lot about like coding or anything like that. I know enough about coding to be dangerous, so I try to stay away from coding and let people who know what they're doing do that. But this Jot Form was a real simple way for us to set up a form, put it on our Facebook, put it on our website, and encourage people to sponsor a flag. Again, from home. They didn't have to come somewhere and give us a check or cash. They could fill it out from the comfort of their couch or from their computer desk, and we got their money. We put the flags up, and there we go. So this is what the Jot Form looks like, and going step by step through the process, you'll notice that there is a field for getting your name and address and all that information, which is super, super important for us, because not only are they giving us money, but they are somebody who may give us money in the future. So we want to secure that information and keep it so that we can reach out to them this time next year and ask them for another donation for something similar, or to just keep them in the loop about this current project and let them know when we're setting them up. So our next one is going to be on September 11th, which is kind of a solemn occasion for the United States. So we're setting it up that weekend and allowing people to come and pay their respects, both to the flags and to the people that are there. So we're looking forward to that next one, and we're using this online form to just help drive that so that we don't have to be in person to do a lot of it. The last step is actually where they would pay, and it gives them the option to either check out through PayPal or to leave a debit or credit card. Some people may find that a lot of people don't want to put their credit card and stuff on the internet. So for that reason, we also set up a way for them to email us, and they can get a form sent to them, and we'll, take their check by mail and all of the traditional ways. This is just a little bit more streamlined approach. When they finish it out, they will take the data that was stored in that form and put it in a spreadsheet for us so that we can have that spreadsheet to go off of for making sure that we have enough flags for everyone, making sure that they all get put up, and we put tags on each flag that designate who the flag is for. It just helps us kind of keep everything in order, especially now we're up over 50 some flags that we've had sponsored. We also used something called Bitly, which is a link management tool that just allows you to condense a big long website and turn it into a much shorter website. It's easier to remember. I don't know if you can see in the right underneath the name of the form, it says the forms.jotform.com and then a big long number. That's really hard to mention to people in conversation. So what we did was turned it into a way that we could very quickly and easily tell people, oh yeah, if you want to do this, just go to bit.ly/Ohio County Flags for Heroes. And it's real easy for them to remember. We also put it on our website and tell them to go to our website, and they can find it there as well. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go back one. One of the other things that's nice about the Bitly software is that it will tell you where your clicks came from, whether they came from an email, whether they came from a Facebook. So it breaks down and kind of gives you, where people are viewing your information at. At this time, we didn't have it on our website, so that's part of the reason why right now all you see in this picture is Facebook and email. We now have it on our website, so chances are if we went back and pulled this again, you would see that a percentage of them came from our website and so on. It just gives us an idea where to focus our energy to make sure that we're getting the message out. So this is a picture of our project. This was the first installment of it, which was on Memorial Day, and we had, I believe, 52 flags at this time. And looking down in that bottom picture, you see probably about 24 people. There are kids, there are adults, there are new lions, there are veteran lions. We have people from all ages and abilities. There are even some mentally challenged people that we have that work with us, and kids, and it's just really, really fulfilling to be able to put this together and have everybody working together on something that they're passionate about. So, and as you can see from the top photo, that beautiful rainbow in the background, that's what happens when everybody comes together and has, just perfect weather, perfect situation. We nailed it. So we're very, very happy about that first day. We also did an online day of giving that we partnered with a local 501c3, which in the United States is a nonprofit that people can get tax deductions for and everything. So we worked with them so that they could collect money, and that money went towards our backpack food program that we supply to area schools every week. And throughout the COVID pandemic and even into the summer, we've been providing food to kids that are not getting enough food at home, regardless of what the circumstances are. So we had to figure out how to raise more money. 1 second here, I'm pulling up the chat. I just realized there's some people that, let's see here. How do you create an online donation page? So I will get to that. That's actually coming up. So I'll be sure to focus on that. So what we did with this was we partnered with that other group to get our message out a little bit more. We took to social media using both group pages and some of the local school and community pages that are out there in our neighborhood. And we used a service called Donorbox. So there we go. So donorbox.org is the site that we used. And as you can see, we set up a campaign around the International Day of Giving, Giving Tuesday. This was actually the second installment of that day, which was in May for COVID relief. And so what it does is it allows you to set up a way to get all of the money in, tracking it with a thermometer that shows you how much progress you've had. So we set a goal of 1,500, and at the end of the day, we had actually gotten over close to $1,700. It does allow you the opportunity to put in different levels of donation. So you can put dollar levels, you can put what that equates to in terms of service. So for us, we put 10 US dollars is 2 weekend food bags for our children for our backpack food program. And then $50 was 1 full little free pantry with hygiene products and food. And then at the $100 level, we put 1 family-friendly activity funded to bring the community together. So you can kind of set up the different levels and structures and say what it is. It also gives them the opportunity to do either one-time donations, weekly, monthly, annually, and you can give a little bit of background into why you're raising the money for the campaign. So when you go to use Donorbox as a donor, you see the ability to pay by credit card, by PayPal, by bank transfer. It gives them a lot of different options, which is nice because some people would prefer one payment method over another. It utilizes a company called Stripe for credit card processing, and they take like a portion of the donation. It's like 2.75% of the donation. And it's basically a processing fee, which is pretty standard for most of the credit card sites that are online right now, whether it be Stripe or Square or anything like that. You can set up to have the donor cover the cost of the processing fee, which is nice. A lot of donors will do that. And you can set up mailing lists, which is really, really key because you can go back to them time and time again and ask them when you really need money. And then you can set up thank you messages that go back directly to the donors so that you can automate it and make it so that you don't have to send out a personal email to each one. It will personalize it and send it back out without you having to do any of the work. One of the things about Donorbox, as opposed to some of the other crowdsourcing sites, is that it really lends a little more legitimacy because this is an area that a lot of nonprofits use. So for us, we felt that people were more comfortable giving to us in this platform than through like a GoFundMe or some of the other platforms that are out there on the internet. And with the help of a matching donor, we actually ended up raising $3,100 and $3,149 raised in 48 hours. So we were really, really blessed by the community to give back to us. And then of course we made sure to tout it on the Facebook page. This is the community nonprofit that we worked with. This is their social media ad, just to thank all the donors for their help over the 48-hour stretch and to let them know what we had planned on doing with it. So where they raise the money, we help them to promote that, and then we work together on the backpack food program. So they financially back the food program, and we provide a lot of the manpower for it. So very nice to have that kind of community partnership with other organizations. So one of the things that happened during the pandemic was a lot of races were canceled. And I don't know how many runners we have on the meeting call today, but for my friends that were runners, they were devastated by it. They had practiced and trained for it all year long to hit their marathon season and have all of them be canceled. So what we did was we took a common theme of where there's a need, there's a lion. So we had a lot of runners that were looking for races, but there were no races. So what did we do? We created a virtual 5K series for them. So they race, they fill out the form, they pay their entrance fee, and we send them the medals in the mail. This is a very familiar format for a lot of runners because even before the pandemic, there were a lot of virtual 5K. So it is kind of on the honor system. We tell them to report their time to us, and then we post it up on our Facebook and on our website to let people know that we have runners participating in it. We bought medals for each of the 5 races, and each of the 5 races symbolize each of the global causes of the Lions. So people can choose to set up and run all 5 for a discounted rate, or they can decide just to run for hunger or just to run for the environment. And so far, we've had just about everybody has filled out and completed all 5 races, which is really, really cool. Next year, we plan on rolling out like specialty races each year. So we'll continue to have the 5 races, and maybe 2021 will just be a race dedicated to childhood vision, or it'll be playgrounds or something that we can continue to work with those runners that are willing to give us money to give them another outlet for another medal. And if you know any runners, they love their medals. So we were able to give them something and turn it into a fundraiser, which is a win-win. So again, we use Jotform to record the data. We use social media to advertise. We used a lot of Facebook advertising, which is very cheap and effective. And if you've got a district or a multi-district page, that you can ask them to share the post as well to get a little bit farther out, and partner with other clubs and get them to share as well. Let's see. So this is what our Jotform application looks like for the race entry. We created a video, which you can see right there. It's also on our YouTube channel if you want to go and look at it. Excuse me. So they have the ability to sign up for all 5 races or individual races as they see fit. Obviously giving them a discount if they sign up for all 5. And then one of the things I really like about Jotform is the fact that it gives us the ability to put in our social media stuff. So we can get people to like our Facebook page right away. They can send us a message. They can share on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, any of the social media sites, and get our message out even further. So these are all widgets that you can set up your form to do. And if anybody is interested in working on a Jotform and wants some help, I'd be happy to assist with that, because it's not very hard. And once you get 1 or 2 of those forms under your fingertips, you'll be a professional at it. The next thing we did was, again, the idea of providing something to the community that we could turn around and turn into a fundraiser so that everybody benefits. So this was an idea that we had, that we took an eBay site and turned it into what we called a virtual yard sale. So we had a lot of people during the stay-at-home order that were at home spring cleaning and had no idea what to do with the stuff, because most of the places that you would donate your spring cleaning junk to were closed or were not taking donations at the time. So we set up an eBay store and communicated out to the community to let them know, hey, you can donate to us and we will try to sell it. And if we can sell it, then that money will go to our global causes again. So we set up the eBay account. We asked for donations of certain items, and once the value was determined, we had somebody that would research roughly what that price point should be on eBay. We would coordinate to either pick it up or drop it off at a location, and then we take a picture, put it up on our eBay store. Excuse me, my my throat's getting a little dry. So we took the area that somebody needed and we turned it into a fundraiser for us. And I'm missing a okay, I'm missing a slide on this slide deck, but essentially what it was going to show you is the results of basically 3 months worth of our virtual yard sale. We had 28 sales that netted roughly I think $4,000. We had 22 different states throughout the country that donated or that bought our items, and we mailed them out to them, including Canada as well. So where that's super important for us is we feel that we're bringing money from outside of the area that we serve to the area that we serve in order to grow our economy, so to speak, a little bit more and be able to provide. I came from a traditional Lions club before coming to this club, and one of the things that we were always having issue with is we were hitting up the same people to donate time after time, and a lot of times it was the members themselves, and that can put a real tax on the people that want to donate to then feel obligated to donate time after time after time. And so what we ended up doing was taking actually through this yard sale, we didn't have one single sale that was in our county. So every dollar was from outside of our county. We brought it in and then we put it to good use. So for us, that was a huge win. And every time we're hitting different people that are willing to donate money to us for some item that somebody else was going to throw out anyways. So it kind of takes that idea of one man's trash is another man's treasure, and we're able to benefit financially through being a middleman to offer up that transaction and then turn that money into the projects that we do to serve the children of our community and our county. Okay, so this is actually a fundraiser that we have in the works, and what I'm showing you right now is our ID badge. So rather than having a traditional pin from Lions, we adopted kind of a take on that whole technology, tech savvy angle, and we went with a ID badge that we bought lanyards that have our club name on them, and we bought a printer that prints these ID cards for us. The middle section of that ID card is actually a QR code that serves as my business card. So people can take their phone and actually hold it up to that with their camera and download all of my personal information, my phone number, my email address, so that as we're out and about talking with people about Lions, we can say, hey, well, just take a picture of my my ID card here, and you have all my information to get in touch with me. The right side of the screen is what the back of it looks like. So we use the back of it as sort of our elevator pitch. We can turn around and say, these are the causes of our lions, sight, hearing, hunger, childhood cancer, diabetes, and environment. And here's what our club is doing in each of those. And we serve the children of Ohio County. And then there's QR codes on the back again that we use for going straight to our homepage, our website. And there's a side page to join our club. And that's the second QR code. So if somebody says, I really want to join, tell me how, we tell them to take a and shows them exactly how to become a member. So the way that we set this up, the way that we used it is using a website called QR Code Monkey. There are a bunch of them out there, but this is the one that we decided to pick. And we also used Canva, which is a really easy tool. It looks to me from looking at your website that you already have somebody who does some great images and social media stuff for you. So if they're not already using Canva, this is an option. If whatever they're using looks like they're doing a great job of, so I would keep up the good work. As far as Canva, we chose it and have been using it for all of our social media and website design, and then designing these ID badges. Then after we've designed them, we print them out on the printer, and every member in our club gets one of these as opposed to like a pin. And we've also I'll talk about the rest of it on the next slide because I thought it was on this slide. So as you can see, my ID badge, you scan that barcode and it pulls up all of my information right there so that you can see our website, you can see email, phone number, all of that stuff. And so other applications for this ID badge is that we are planning on doing kids allergy cards. We're planning on doing Identikid cards so that people have some almost like a driver's license for kids, that if a kid ends up going missing, they can hand the authorities this card and say, this is my son or daughter. Other organizations or small businesses may need it for identification purposes as well. And it's kind of a fun ID card for a kid. So we set up kind of a program in our club where every kid that comes and participates in some sort of program, like a volunteer project of ours, we call them a lion in training, and give them a card to carry around, and they get a real kick out of it. They don't have much in their wallets as a kid, so giving them something to put in their wallet, they really, really like. We also have like a superhero club where you can sign up to be a superhero on a superhero day. So what we did was we turned this into a fundraiser. So all of our members get one for free, obviously, but if somebody from outside wanted one, it would be $4 for the ID card creation and printing, an additional $1 if they wanted that personal QR code that they can scan just like a business card. And then if they wanted one of our lanyards, it would be $5. So we've kind of set up a way to monetize that, to give a service to the community in different ways, and then also to be able to make some money to generate and turn back into other projects. And this is one of our lions in training. We actually had him there for our Flags for Heroes Day, and that's the flags that he's holding in his hand. So we took a picture, turned it into a card for him, and the next time we saw him, we gave him a card, and he had the biggest smile on his face. He was just absolutely excited that he was one of us. So kind of a neat way for us to encourage the kids to come participate with us. So our results, now these results are a little bit off because I think this goes to middle of July. So we're missing
about a month on these, but if you go a month back, this is what we had tabulated. So with the 5K, the Flags for Heroes, the Day of Giving, and the yard sale, we netted about $5,480. The bottom part of it, I took out the Day of Giving, since it kind of wasn't a fundraiser and was more just to furnish our backpack food program and our pantry. But as you can see, 37% of the money that we raised came from outside of our serving area, which we feel like that's a good way for us to continue to bring money into our area and turn it around and serve people, and not have to continuously hit up the same people time after time. The other thing that's worth noting is there's not a whole lot of inventory costs on all of these. With the virtual 5K, all we have are the medals, and the Flags for Heroes program. Basically, we just buy the flags as we get the sponsorships, and the virtual yard sale is all stuff that people are just donating to us, and we're turning around and turning it into some money that we can use for our clubs. So these are the resources that we used, and I think I talked about all of them while I was discussing the different projects. I did email a PDF of those resources so that you can have them for your use. So the takeaways are to use today's tools to take our fundraiser to the next level. So if you have a fundraiser already, it's a great idea to think about ways to maybe put that fundraiser to some degree online, so that you can cast that net a little bit farther out of the area that you're working in. If you don't have someone that can do these skill sets, it's time to recruit. I think based on what I have seen on your social media and from talking through email, it seems to me like you have no problem with that your demographics are much younger than a lot of the clubs in the United States. We are aging out and having real trouble recruiting young members, partially because we're not adapting to current trends and living conditions. So we're really working on that in our club, but it is an issue that is something that the United States needs to address in their recruitment. You may not be able to count on the same sponsors that you previously counted on before the pandemic, because a lot of businesses have had their own economic troubles. So for us, we found that the key is finding many small donors and fundraisers instead of one large donor or fundraiser. If you bank everything on that one fundraiser, and then something like the COVID pandemic comes along, you have wiped out all of your fundraising efforts, and you have to regroup and try something else. Bring money from outside your service area to help the area that you serve even more. And lastly, find a need, figure out how you can turn it into a fundraiser, and then fill another need in the process. And that is everything I have. And I will stick around if anybody has any questions.
Thanks a lot, Lion Matt. I'll get Lion Ebuka to handle the question and answer session. Anybody that has, for any question, you can just leave it in the comment area, or you can raise your hand so that you can unmute yourself and ask your question once Lion Ebuka gives you the go ahead. So Lion Ebuka, over to you, please.
Thank you very much, Lion Toby. It's been and it was an eye-opener for, I believe, very many of us. And I want to thank Lion Matt for availing us this opportunity to learn So we'll just go straight into the question and answers. If you have any questions, just like Toby has said, you could raise up your hand and I would identify you and give you room to talk. Or you could drop your question in the chat and I would gladly read your question to Matt so you get the best of answers. So I'll be looking forward to receiving the questions from us. I believe he has shown us so much. So we probably might have one or two things to talk about or to find more clarification on, because it's very important that we understand the processes. Once we're able to get the processes done, we can be able to replicate or innovate around whatsoever he had shared with us today. So questions?
Okay, thank you very much, Ibuka. While we're waiting for attendees to indicate if you have any questions for Matt, I would want to invite our to just give us a few words. My DG staff, the floor is yours.
Oh, okay. Hello.
We can hear you, sir.
Thank you. You're coming earlier than I thought, but that's okay. I thought I would also partake of the questions. Well, I thank the guest speaker for what is a very interesting discourse. The interesting thing about it is that we're talking about a virtual club, which we are not very used to, and it makes a lot of sense to leverage on the internet and get a lot of things done using that platform. And this is a fantastic example of how virtual clubs can be very, very useful. And that platform is also what makes it easy for you to see a need and leverage on it to raise funds as well. Many of us see needs, but the conversion of a need into a fundraiser has always been a problem. And you've given us a very, very strong option as to how we can transit from identifying needs to making something out of it. And using the fund then to also try and meet the needs that you have identified. So you close the loop eventually without having to raise any funds from within, which makes it very, very interesting. I guess we will still have challenges in terms of getting the right software and being able to set up the platform and create awareness for this thing. Those are the areas where we would, I guess, lean on you every now and then to see how we can set up the framework. When the framework is set up, you have the global village at your fingertips. All these things are available to everybody online, and they can take advantage and or decide to support you through this means if your cost is genuine enough. So what I have learned specifically is how you can use this great platform to render service, and only service-minded people can think this way. So on behalf of the Pheonix Club, I thank the guest speaker for Matt Rafa for this incredible insights into service rendition. We have a virtual club recently formed in our district as well. This will give them a lot of insights as to what they could be doing. A form was clubbed about 3 months ago in Ikorodu, that is a virtual club, and the specialty clubs are really beginning to gain ground, and we're seeing what they can do when they are proper special clubs. So this is one of such, and I'm really happy to be part of this. The other item that I picked from the presentation was the Flag for Heroes. That was an interesting one. It enables you to bring out people that you cherish, whatever their ideals were, and also use it to to support your cause as well. A lot of ideas have come on here. The technology part of it is the one that I think we always have a challenge on. All the online payment modules that you mentioned, where without even being in contact with the third parties, you can get them to support your cause. I think Lagos Pheonix Club will be getting in touch with you to see how they can leverage on these platforms, and also try and create parallels in this environment. Because if you're able to spread this out and wide, you can get funds coming from without your area. And ability to do that seriously leverages your effectiveness. And I thank you for this very mind-boggling and eye-opening presentation. On behalf of Lagos Pheonix Club, thank you very much.
Thank you. And one of the things that I noticed as I went on and talked was that I mentioned a whole lot about online. It's worth at least me noting that most of our projects are not online. Most of our projects are in person. We collect plastic for our recycling program. There's a lot of stuff that we do out in the community, but we have used this as a way for some of us that are at high risk of the coronavirus. They are finding ways to still continue to work with us from their homes by doing a lot of the virtual stuff for us. So whether it be somebody who can come out, so I'm a I'm a pharmacist, I'm an essential employee, so I'm going out every day for work still, while some of our other Lions members have been laid off or have been put at furlough, where they are staying home because they're at high risk. They're still able to contribute by taking care of a lot of the virtual stuff for us, and then allowing those of us that are already out to continue to do work in our communities. So the money that we raise gets put back into our service projects and programs that we're still delivering out and about, and we're using the virtual meeting platform simply as a way for us to organize once every month or two. We also use a app called Spawned on our smartphones that allow us to poll the membership, allow us to set event dates. So we set up where we're going to be and when in this app, and people can RSVP and say that they'll be there or they can't be there, so that we have an idea of what volunteers are showing up for what projects on what days. And it's allowed us to not have to meet as much in person. We've actually never met in person as a club because we chartered in February. That was probably the first and only time that we've had all of our members in the same room. And then right after that, we had the pandemic breakout. And so everything we've done has been through Zoom meetings like this. And right now we're only doing about one meeting every 2 months, and we're using the other communication, emails and Spawn messages and all that kind of stuff to help to continue to move the club until our next meeting. So that has really allowed us to kind of continue to move at a fast pace, and allowed us to only meet in person when we're carrying out service projects. And so I think people value their time, and they look at this as a way of fulfilling their need to serve without having to sit in meetings just to sit in meetings. So yeah, we do a lot in person still, but a lot of our members are homebound, and we're waiting for a vaccine and waiting for the circumstances to change so that they can come back out and serve with us.
Okay, thank you very much, Matt. I would call our area leader, PTC Sam Epu, to also give us a few words before we wrap up.
Okay, good evening for those of us in Nigeria, and I think it's still morning in Ohio, so good morning, Matt.
Yeah.
I must say thank you for breaking out of your Sunday morning to support the work we do here by sharing your success. This is essentially what the Global Action Team is all about, getting clubs and districts to share what they are doing right so that others can learn from it and propagate it. I acknowledge we have a few of our leaders here, including the district governor. We have vice governors here. I salute all of you. More importantly, I salute the Lions of Lagos Pheonix and all the other Lions who have joined, because this is a knowledge sharing experience. I must confess, despite my, shall I say, depth of knowledge in IT, I am still very impressed with how much you've been able to do in between February and now using online tools. We've talked about it in other forums that for things like community needs assessments, there are a lot of survey tools that are available. And then in terms of fundraising, yeah, we may not have flags for heroes here, but we can replicate similar things in different ways.
Absolutely.
The way to go with fundraising is not big events with huge costs. I looked at your cost structure. Your cost structure would have been less than 10% if not for the flags for heroes that required actual production of flags. You know, I'm a numbers guy, so I pay attention to the numbers a lot. You know, so I find it really easy using some of these models to do fundraising. And by Nigerian standards, if you raise $5,000 from a series of fundraising activities that involve a lot of members of your community, you've actually done exceedingly well. $5,000 is like 2 million naira plus in Nigeria today. So thank you for sharing your kind thoughts. To the Lions of Nigeria who are here present, like the district governor said, this is an eye-opener. Some of these can be done, or most of these can be done not just by virtual Lions clubs. The tools may be virtual, but any Lions club can actually use Fund, for instance, you know, in organizing its activities and its membership. I was going through your resource list, having to use things like Canva reduces the cost of you going outside to go and develop your marketing tools. You know, I find that really interesting. So there's a whole lot of tools you've embedded into your program, and for the sake of skills, we may need to, on a constant basis, train Lions across different clubs on using some of these tools. I remember at the convention in Las Vegas 2 years ago, we had a session just focused on training Lions on specific tools you can use for your campaigns, online tools you can use for surveys, you can use for your campaigns, you can use for social marketing and all that. Ebuka is an expert in that area. He needs to teach us a lot of that. Where is it? I don't see Eme anymore. You know, a lot of these skills are already in-house in Lagos Pheonix. They need to get out and share it with Lions in other clubs in Nigeria, and hopefully we should be able to upscale, get a lot of Lions in Nigeria using a lot of these tools. Something we need to be careful about is cybersecurity, because the moment that becomes the norm that we are using online tools to raise money, a few unscrupulous people are also going to try to use those online tools to raise money using the name of Lions Club. So all these have to be built in to make sure that when you say it's the Lions doing it, it's actually the Lions who are doing it. When I get the recording of this, I hope the recording will be shared. Joyce, Ebuka, Tola, all of you, I hope you will make sure, Tolu, I mean, that we get the, sorry, Toby, why do I keep missing the president's name? Mr. President, I'm sorry.
No problem.
So hopefully when we get the recording for all these, for what we've seen today, we can share it among several clubs, including the clubs in Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, the clubs I work with, the 4 or 5 countries I have to work with. It would be nice to share this recording with them, and a lot of people might be coming back to you. So I'll serve as the clearinghouse. You know, when they write to me, I'll write to you. But thanks all the same. I really appreciate this. I am running off for a training with the Leos, so I may not sit through the question and answer session. But let me end it with just one comment. Someone said you cannot use an NGO to do business to generate funds in Nigeria. That's, I think, is too generalistic. It's not true. You can't use an NGO to solicit money in the form of investments. That's correct. There's a Securities and Exchange rule that forbids that. But you can use an NGO to raise money that is targeted at humanitarian activities, so long as it is in line with your memorandum that was submitted to the company's registry. Otherwise, all the fundraising we do as Lions would have been illegal. So let's make a distinction. NGOs generating funds for investment purposes is a no-no, except you go to the Securities and Exchange Commission and get the authorization. But for the purpose of philanthropic activities, humanitarian service, you can raise money. So let's make that distinction. So just to correct that comment that I saw, so that we don't start having an argument over it in future. Have a wonderful evening. Matt, since you're currently in Lagos, have a safe trip back to Ohio. All right?
Sounds good.
Thanks a lot, Lion. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Lion Samuel. So Ebuka, over to you for question and answer. I can see someone's hand is up to ask question, so you can take it up from there, Lion Ebuka.
Okay, thank you very much, my president, Lion Tilly. So we'll just move again back to the question. We have 2 hands up, but we'll take the first one from Lion Oluwaseyi Olokode. So please let's have your question briefly for Lion Matt to actually respond to. Please,
Good afternoon, my DGs and fellow Lions in the house. My name is Olokode Oluwaseyi, a member of the Ikorodu Pioneer Virtual Lions Club. My question is just to find out if all your members are domiciled within your area, because in our own club, peculiarity is that we even have members in the US. And I just want to find out, how do those members get involved in doing projects with us? Thank you.
So you're asking, how do we recruit members?
No, not recruitment now. We have recruited members, but how do the members who are not domiciled in your location join your projects?
Okay. So again, we use that Spawned app I was talking about. So Spawned is very similar to like the Remind app that that a lot of like Little League baseball teams use. And we've adopted it as our own because we're a team and we still need to coordinate where we're going to be at and when. And it does give us a lot of tools that we can use within our club. Then as far as outside of our club, we do use the My Lions website and put our projects out there that other clubs can see and can volunteer to participate in. And then we also do it on our social media. So our social media is linked with a lot of the clubs in our area. So when we put something out there, they may share it for us, or they may say we'll be there, and they come and help out as well. So it's kind of a mixture of all 3 of those. We use My Lions to get the message out like throughout Lionism. We use social media to hit the people in our like geographical area, and then we use the Spawned app to communicate with our membership to get them to show up to the meetings or the projects.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you very much.
Thank
you.
Okay, very well then. So we'll just take Engineer Mustafa Mejindadi. So please come with your question now. Engineer Mustafa, are you there, please?
Hello, good evening, my president. Good evening.
Please, you can come up with your question now.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. We can hear you. Go ahead.
I want to say it wasn't a question per se, but I want to ask for how can we get the recording of this presentation, because I came late, so I don't know how we can get the recording part of it.
Okay, that's fine. We're actually going to get the recording out. So we'll be able to send the recording out on the president group, president and secretary group. We should also be able to send the recording out, on that group. So if you're opportune to be a part of that group, you actually could get to listen there.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I don't think we have any other questions.
Thank you very much, Lion Ebuka. Just a question came out while the previous person asked a question. It said, how do you recruit members? I think that would be something interesting to do in a short story. How you recruit members for your virtual club?
So we have taken out some Facebook advertising. We've put some very key messages out there, one of which being, we're looking for you. If you want to help, we want you. All ages, all abilities. There's something for everyone to do. Those tend to ring true in just about every one of our advertisements that we put out for social media advertising. Then just recently we put out one about our Kindness Matters slogan. Stateside, we are just absolutely being bombarded with a lot of negativity over our election coming up in November, and there's riots in certain areas of the country, and it's a really bad time, and so we have tried to put out the message of like, are you sick and tired of the negativity? Join our cause. We do positive things in our community. We choose kindness overall, and I think that has resonated with a lot of people that are looking for some outlet to be productive while they're sitting at home, either without a job or a lot of the social activities have been canceled in our area. So essentially, we're playing on the fact that they're probably looking for some outlet of socialization right now. So come socialize, come work on a project, come feel good about what you're doing. And the kindness campaign really, I think, is going to be our biggest way of online recruiting. But the other thing is, when we advertise that we are doing a project, we tell people that are non-members, come help us. Like you don't have to be a member to participate with us. And we get them to work side by side with us on something that matters to them. They have a good time, and we slowly try to reel them in on the idea of becoming a member. They have to see the value in our organization. So we give them the ability to work side by side with us, see what we do, see how much value there is to us, and then they want to be on the inside track of the planning and the decision making and know what's going on a more intimate level, that's when they become members. So we every time that we do an event, we always tell the non-members that are following us on Facebook to, you know, come out and participate with us. You know, we're not friends now, but we'll be friends when you get there. So I think that's probably the biggest recruiting tool. And then just having a continuous presence in the community, so that they see that you're doing good work and that you're doing it throughout the community that you serve, that they want to be a part of it. This analogy may be lost on you, but we have two baseball teams in the United States. One is the New York Yankees, that has historically been this amazing club that's won all kinds of championships. And the other one is the one that's closest to me, which is the Pittsburgh Pirates, which have not won a championship since before I was born, and have really struggled to put together winning teams. And what I always tell people when we're talking about recruiting and membership is that everybody wants to play for the Yankees. Everybody wants to play for a championship team. Nobody wants to play for that team that can't, you know, field a team together appropriately. So you continue to do projects that make you a champion in your community, and then people will not only be easy to recruit, but will actually come to you and say, hey, I want to join, not you having to recruit them. Now, the other part of that recruitment is you also have to recruit your members that are in your club to keep them. You got to keep them happy. You got to work with them to see what it is that they're passionate about. We have one member who, I think the environmental cause is like the biggest aspect of her life. She does all kinds of stuff. Even before she became a Lion, she was very environmentally friendly and did a whole bunch for the environment. And anytime we do an environmental project, she is always there. So you find out what your membership's passions are, and then you make projects that keep them interested and involved.
Awesome. Thank you very, very much. Thanks a lot. That's actually a lot of quality information to process and actually start thinking of how we're going to be able to execute it for our different club, most importantly, and for other club members that belong to that club also here today to also put it into action. And I'm sure you'll probably be seeing a lot of progress from some of the conversations we've had today, especially from Lagos Pheonix and our members. I would also, so right now, I would ask Lion Joyce to come and help us with a vote of thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. President. Thank you once again, everyone, for taking out time to join us in today's meeting of ours. We thought that given the season we're in and given the importance of utilizing technology in today's world, we should open up our meeting to non-club members from other Lions Club to also learn from Matt on what they've been able to do in their club. And it's our expectation that the few tips that we have all picked up today from Matt's session, we apply them in positive ways to boost our service and our community, our impact within our communities. There are quite a lot of things that we can take advantage of, you know. I mean, for us as a club, we're new, and I think we've only had 3 physical meetings from when pre-charter till now, you know. We've tried as much as possible to do a lot online. We hold our meetings virtually. We run some of our events virtually. And for events that need us physically, we all come together to attend. So I think for the sake of convenience for most, you know, these are options that we could utilize. Also, very active social media engagement, you know, telling your story, you know, it's also very important because, I mean, with the utilization of social media, you're able to project your club, project your activities, And that way you're also able to attract new members. So I think that's very critical. We can't overemphasize the importance of technology in today's service. And I'm sure a lot of clubs would also explore the online fundraising elements that Matt has shared with us today. There are quite a number of platforms that we can take advantage of to also see how we can reach out to a wide audience, you know, to support the various causes we champion as Lions. Personally, I've learned a few things, and definitely would see how we can put that to use. I want to especially thank Matt, you know, taking out your time, giving of yourself, you know, to share with us. I think that has been amazing. That's also evidence of your lion spirit, and we are most appreciative. And I want to believe that this is only the beginning of more collaborations and working with the Ohio County Virtual Lions Club. Thank you so much, and our best regards to your very active club members. Thank you so much.